Shalom, shalom. This is Rabbi Moshe Otero with the Ways of Israel. We're going to continue our study in the Letters for Ages of the Ramban. We're in chapter 14. And of course, this series is being dedicated to my sons, Mayor David, Joshua, and David Joseph. Chapter 14. And now, my son, understand clearly that one who is prideful in his heart towards other men rebel against the sovereignty of heaven, for he glorifies himself in God's own robe, for it is written, "The Lord reigns, he dons the raiment of grandeur." Psalms 93, verse 1. The faces of pride. The Rebbe of Komarno, in his work Notzer Chesed, in Avot chapter 4, verse 4, observes that the proud person, insofar as he venerates himself, defies God by worshiping himself. The Talmud states in Avodah Zarah 14b and teaches that Abraham composed a huge tractate concerning the prohibition against idol worship. It consisted of no less than 400 chapters. The hundreds of chapters did not describe alien and pagan deities, but rather detailed the true source of idolatry, man's arrogance and pride. The Mesilat Yesharim examines in chapter 11 the many forms of arrogance in detail. Pride means that it takes a person takes himself seriously. He feels that he is truly worthy of recognition and praise. There are many causes of these feelings. Some deem themselves intellectual, and some perhaps because they're handsome and distinguished. Others see themselves as great or wise. Proud men conduct themselves in a variety of ways in order to gain the recognition that they so desperately crave. One type of person adopts dignified mannerism so as to make powerful impressions on others. He walks slowly, with a finely measured step, sits erect, rises only a little by little like a snake. He doesn't speak just anybody, only with men of eminence and distinction. When he does talk, he does so in a enigmatic fashion designed to arouse wonder. In short, all of his movements are conducted with pompousness, as if his flesh were lead, and his bones stone and earth. Another type of proud person seeks to demonstrate his superiority by becoming an earthly terror. He agitates, speaking insolently, and drives men into frenzies with his biting retorts. A third type of person, or pride person, reveals itself in the manner of a man who thinks that he is already so invested with honor that honor is inseparable from him. To impress this upon others, he imitates the conduct of the most humble men, while in truth his heart bursts with pride. These are yet other types of pride which lay smoldering in the hearts of men. Concerning all forms of pride, it's written, "The proud of the heart are abomination to the Lord." Proverbs 16, verse 5. It is especially important for those in public eye to eradicate a feeling of lordship. Shulchan Aruch in Orach Chaim, chapter 53, verse 1 says and gives this admonition to the cantor who leads the congregation in prayer. By the way, it doesn't only have to be the cantor. He should stand before God in a solemn and reverent spirit, filled with trepidation and fear. If his purpose is to show his beautiful voice, and his heart rejoices in his cantorial skills, this is repulsive. Mishnah Berurah, in the same place, comments that the Sefer Hasidim records when Ramban Shimon ben Gamaliel has taken out to be killed by the Romans, he turned to Rabbi Ishmael, the high priest, and asked, "My dear brother, have I sinned that I should merit such a terrible death?" Rabbi Ishmael replied, "Search your heart. Perhaps when you spoke publicly at times you felt some pride in your heart, and thus you used words of Torah for your own delight." To this Rabbi Shimon ben Gamaliel responded, "You have consoled me for my death. Nachamateni." Rav Moshe Feinstein, when he underwent difficult surgery to correct his pacemaker, he tried to discover the sin that had caused his suffering. He was sure that His pain must be a punishment for having hurt someone else's feelings. But he could not recall. Having done so, he reviewed in his mind all the years of his life, and he came to his childhood days. There he found the source of his affliction. As a young cheder child, he and the classmate had both offered an answer to the Rebbe's question, and Reb Moshe recalled the feelings, a sense of pride when the Rebbe found his reasoning superior to that of his friend. While he had not actually done his friend any harm, still he felt it was wrong for him to feel uplifted by an incident that had embarrassed someone else. The Reb Moshe viewed his mistake as an indirect form of Haveru, or Malbin B'nei Haveru, shaming one's friends, and for which the surgery he was to undergo was a proper punishment. May God take away the pride, and may God help us be able to remove that sense of superiority that many times tarnish our behavior and conduct in front of others. So it is here we find that pride is what occurs before the fall, and thus only God should pride himself and glories in himself and robes himself with the glory that he is worthy of. So remember this, the face of pride has many different aspects, but it's pride nevertheless. May God forgive us and give us strength in this day and every day to remove that part of us that's full of pride. Shalom, shalom.